Hi guys, welcome to today's video on the series of IIM Kozhikode. So if you have been watching the previous videos, we have been discussing grammar topics, grammar model questions. So we'll be continuing that. And today we are going to start with degrees of comparison. So this is one of the topics that you might be listening to since your high school, if I'm not wrong. There are 3 degrees of comparison, as you know: positive, comparative, and superlative. See, when it comes to positive degree, there is no comparison because she is tall or Neha is as tall as Sheila. There is actually no comparison because there is no difference, right? It is 0. The difference is 0. So technically there is no comparison. That is why we say that when positive degree enters into the sentence, there is actually no comparison happening. So it need not be always with 2 parties being involved in the sentence. It can just be a simple sentence like she is tall. Even that is considered a positive degree comparison. Okay, next, when it comes to comparative, she is taller than him. Okay, she is taller than him. Generally, you will find 2 aspects which are being compared in comparative degree, and remember that when only 2 aspects are present, superlative degree cannot act. Okay, superlative degree, it cannot act when only 2 aspects are present. It's either positive or comparative. Let's look at superlative degree. Superlative degree is nothing but 1 is to all. Generally, it is something like 1 is to all, and that all cannot be only other one. Okay, there can't be only 2 things in superlative degree. If only 2 aspects are being compared, superlative wouldn't be applied. See, in the sentence, she is the tallest in the class. Here she is being compared to rest of the students present in the class, right? So this is like the basic intro you can have. Yeah, so let's just see the structure of each degree. Positive, it's like basic quality: tall, good, fast. Okay, but when it comes to comparative, it generally has an addition of ER. Okay, ER is the addition for comparative, whereas EST would be the addition for superlative. Now remember that for words like tall or for words like tall or old, it can be old, older, oldest, tall, taller, tallest. Okay, but there are also some adjectives like good and bad. Okay, so good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. Okay, they are the 3 different forms for 3 different degrees of comparison. And also, when you have a word which contains more than 2 syllables, generally an adjective which contains more than 2 syllables, it takes more and most instead of ER and EST. For example, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, when it comes, and generally it is 2 or 3 syllables, you would go with these things: more beautiful, most beautiful, intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent, right? Okay, and sometimes you'll have adjectives which change their whole form. Okay, have this in mind while answering these questions. Okay, let's look at some basic rules. Use than after comparative. For example, she is smarter than her brother. Use the before superlative degree. Yes, he is the fastest runner. She is the tallest girl. He is the strongest man. Okay, always use the before superlative degree. Never use double comparatives or superlatives. For example, more, better, most, smartest. These are double comparatives. When you're already mentioning more, there is no need of, when you're already mentioning better, there is no need of more, because good, the second degree would be better. And when you're already mentioning smartest, there is no need to mention most, because smart, smarter, smartest, right? So don't use double comparatives or superlatives. And then we have last rule: than any other with singular, than all other with plural. For example, Mount Everest is higher than any other mountain. Okay, and this team is better than all other teams. Why? See, Mount Everest, it's a singular. As you can see, Mount Everest is a singular, but when it comes to team, it is a plural, right? It's a plural. So that is why there is a difference between any other and all other. That is just the singularity and plurality of the noun that we are discussing. Okay, okay, so let's look at one more. Yeah, let's look at some practice questions now. Okay, let's choose the correct sentence here. Now look at this. Now, as per the rules we have discussed, we should not have any double comparatives, right? So she is more better than her sister. Is it possible? No, we are using double comparatives. So no, this is not the right answer. She is better than her, she is best than her sister. When do you use than? Only in comparative degree. But what is this? This is the superlative adjective that we are using here. So no, this can't be the right sentence. She is the more better. Again, more and better, it's a double comparative. So the only correct option here is she is better than her sister. Okay, she is better than her sister. This should be your right answer. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, he is the best student in the class, right? Why? Because the follows superlative. He is the good student, he is the better student. Here comparison is 1 is to all the other students present in the class, right? So all the other students in the class, right? So it should be superlative degree, and more good would not come because you get just use better instead of that, and whenever the comes into the picture, you know that it's directly connected to the superlative degree. Okay. Yeah, let's look at some common errors here. He is more taller than me. Again, we can see that there is a double comparative, which is wrong. Right, so he is taller than me is fine. She is the most happiest girl. Again, most and happiest, double superlative, wrong. She is the happiest girl is fine. Next, this book is better than all other books. See, we have learned that only when it is in the plural form, you can go with all. But when it comes to this book, which is singular, what do you have to use here? You have to say that this book is better than all other books. Okay, all other books, because that is singular which is present here, right? Okay, of the two players, Rahul is dash one. Okay, so here we can see that clearly two players are being mentioned. So there is comparison, and Rahul is means there's definitely comparison, so it cannot be a positive tone, right? If I say, can I use best here? No, because it's not in the degree of superlative. Superlative is 1 is to all, right? But here only two people are being mentioned, so no, superlative degree cannot be used only with two aspects in the sentence. And more good is not the right one, because instead of more good you can always go with better. So what is the correct option here? Better. Of the two players, Rahul is the better one. That means he performs better. Let's look at another one. This is the dash painting I have seen. This is, see, again we have a clue here, right? We have a clue here, and he is saying that I have ever seen. That means here one painting is being compared to all the other paintings that he has seen. Don't say, ma'am, what if he saw only two paintings, because here the is being mentioned, so this is a clue for superlative degree. Okay, and what would be the superlative degree for beautiful? It would be most beautiful, not very beautiful, because this is in the this is a sentence being used for comparison. So the degree of comparison which enters here is superlative. This is the most beautiful painting I have ever seen. Okay, so yeah, don't use double comparatives. Okay, in errors of correction you might come across these things. Remember irregular forms like good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. You have to be aware of those things. Watch out for that and the usage, because than comes into comparative style, the comes into superlative style. And yeah, practice identifying incorrect forms in MCQs. That would help you with your degrees of comparison. Okay. Okay, let's start with direct and indirect speech now. Okay, so direct speech is nothing but when the exact words of speaker are quoted within quotation marks, you can say it's a direct speech. For example, he said, I am learning French. Okay, Abraham Lincoln said, I have a dream. Okay, sorry, Martin Luther King. my mistake. Yeah, he said that I have a dream, right? So generally when it comes to quoting some famous people, you use direct speech. And then when it comes to indirect speech, it is something like the reported version of what someone said without the quotation marks, right? So he said that he was learning French. The same sentence is being reported in reported speech, is being told in reported speech. So during that process of changing, there are some basic rules that we need to follow. So let's just have a quick revision on these rules now. Okay, so what are the key changes from direct to indirect speech? One thing would be your change in pronouns, right? If it is I, for example, let's take a sentence here. Okay, let's look at some sentence changes, then you can easily point out this. Okay, first let's take a sentence. I like chocolate. Okay, she said, comma, I like chocolate. Okay, so first thing would be change in pronouns, right? So I becomes she. She said that she liked chocolate. Second thing would be change in tense. Okay, like is in V1, this becomes V2, so this becomes liked. Then would be removal of quotation marks. So it would go like, she said that she liked chocolate. She said that she liked chocolate. So first of all, what are we doing here? We are removing the quotation marks, and then we are adding a conjunction, okay, to the reporting verb, which is said. And then we are changing the pronouns, and also we are changing the tense of the sentence. Okay, and sometimes when you have mentions of time or place, even those words would change. For example, today would become that day, tomorrow would become the next day or the following day, here becomes there, and now becomes then. Okay, let's look at them in detail. Yeah, so yeah, as I told you, when it comes to tense change, you can just have simply one thing in your mind. Your V1 becomes V2. Simple present changes to simple past. Your V2 becomes your V3. Simple past changes to past perfect. And your V3 becomes your, do you think it's V4? No, it's V3, because there is nothing past V3, right? Yeah, so simple present becomes simple past, past present continuous becomes past continuous, present perfect becomes past perfect, simple past becomes past perfect, and will or shall would become would or should. Okay. Yeah, there is a important note here. If you observe, if the reporting verb is in present or future tense, tense does not change. For example, look at this. She says, I she says, I like swimming. So as per our previous discussion just a minute ago, it should be something like she said that she liked swimming, right? But look at here, look at this reporting verb here. If it was she said I like swimming, then it would be she said that she liked swimming. But she says, what does this says imply? It implies that she always keeps saying. It is something which is always true, just like the sun rises in the east, right? Something that is always true, they will always be represented in simple present. Okay, facts or general truths like honesty is the best policy, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, they always stand true no matter to whom you're conveying and at what time. Okay, see, generally, why do you think there is a change in tense when it comes to reported speech? Because when I say something at present to you, that becomes past when you report it to someone else, right? This moment, it becomes your past. That is why you'll be changing the tense. But things like sunrise in the east, water boils at 100 degrees, whenever I communicate that message with anyone, even at that given moment, it is the same, it is happening, it is still true. That is why it is always conveyed in present tense, simple present tense. In the same way, if I say she says, that means even at the moment of, just like at the moment of communication, she is liking the swimming, right? Even when you report the same to other person, she still likes swimming. That is the reason you're not going to change the tense to something in the past. Okay, it's not that she liked swimming a while ago. She keeps saying I like swimming. She regularly goes to swimming classes. So because that stands true, even at the point of communicating, even at the point of reporting the same to other person, it will not change the tense. I hope you got this logic. Okay. So whenever you find the reporting verb which is in present or simple, it can be she will say also, even then there would be no change in the reported speech. It will become something like she says that she likes swimming. The pronouns and all would change, that is there, but the tense would not change. Okay, she said that, she says that she likes swimming. Okay, it's in V1 here, it remains in V1 in this reported speech also. Yeah, so generally there are like these are like some words that you need to observe. I becomes he or she, today becomes that day, you becomes I, he, she, they, depending on the noun that is mentioned in the sentence. Tomorrow becomes next day, my becomes his or her, now becomes then, we become they, and here becomes there. Okay. Okay, yeah. So as I told you, we have reporting verbs. You will generally use said that for statements, and the reporting verb would change if there is a question here. Okay, so generally for WH questions like who, what, where, you will add asked or questioned or inquired or grilled. Okay, something like that. But if it is about yes or no questions, you will ask if or whether. Okay, and in the same way, if you come across some commands, okay, some imperatives, then you will go with told to or ordered to. And remember that when it comes to imperative sentences, when it comes to imperatives, there would be no tense change. In fact, we will be using infinitives. What are these infinitives? Infinitives are nothing but 2 plus V1. 2 plus V1. For example, I can say, he said exercise daily. Okay, he said exercise daily. This is a suggestion, it's an imperative. Okay, so when you change this into indirect speech, the tense is not going to change. It will become something like he he said exercise daily. I'm sorry if my language, my writing is not legible, but I hope my voice is helping. He advised me to exercise daily. Okay, he advised me to exercise daily. Here, 2 plus V1. Okay, this is your infinitive. 2 plus V becomes your infinitive. In the same way, for example, this is a suggestion. If I go with a command like, he said get out. He said get out. You can say that he ordered me to get out. To get out. Again, 2 plus V1. Okay. He ordered me to get out. This becomes your infinitive. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at some examples here as well. He said, I will help. He said that he would help. Why will becomes your word. She asked, are you ready? So this is a yes or no question, right? Are you ready? You're gonna answer that yes or no. Yes, I am ready. No, I'm not, right? She asked if I was ready. The teacher said, don't talk. The teacher told us not to talk because this is an order. You can clearly see that there is an exclamation mark here which suggests that this is an order. Yeah. Let's look at some sentence types here. Okay. The statement would be he said I work hard. He said that he worked hard because this is V1, this changes to V2 and there's a pronoun change. I becomes your he, right? And said is used now, so that is why he said that. Next, we have a yes or no question here. She asked, are you fine? Yeah, she asked if I was fine. We have seen that in previous slide. Let's see some WH question also. He asked, where are you going? He asked where I was going. So look at the sentence style here. Generally, you might go with where, because it's in V1, this becomes your V2, that is where was I going. You becomes your I, right? So always remember that whenever you are converting a direct speech question into indirect speech statement, it cannot be listed, it cannot be written as a question. Okay, if I write where was I going, this again becomes a question, right? That is why you have to say where I was going. Whenever you are reporting a question, it cannot be a question again, because you're just conveying some other person that I was asked a question. You're not questioning the other person, you're not questioning the other person to whom you're reporting about the question you have been asked, right? So always remember that you cannot convert a direct speech question into indirect speech question. It should always stand as a statement, and for that to happen you should not use helping verb before your pronoun. Okay, it should always be where I was going. If you put was in front of I, that becomes your question again. Anyway, let's look at some more commands. The commands, he said close the door. Again, he told me to close the door. 2 plus V1. There is no tense change in commands, requests, suggestions, all of the imperatives. Okay. See, both of them, commands and requests. Okay, they are imperatives. She said, please help me. She requested me to help her. 2 plus V1. Okay. Always remember there is no tense change in imperatives. What are imperatives? Commands, requests, suggestions, advice. Okay. Now, let's see some common errors. He said that I am happy. He said that he was happy. She told to go. Yeah, generally told to would only be used in your orders. Okay, told, whenever you use told, there should be a speaker, there should be a listener. So she told me, speaker and listener, me to go home. He asked that what I was doing. He asked, yeah, you can't use asked that. You can only use either asked or you can only use that. Okay, don't use them together. Okay, let's look at the correct indirect speech. I am tired. She said, I am tired. So what would your reporting speech? She said. How would the reporting verb go here? She said that. What would I become? She. What would am become? V1 into V1 converts to your V2 form. So she was tired. She said that she was tired. So where do we have that she said she is? No, there is no that. She said that she was tired. Yeah. B is your answer. She says that no, you cannot change the reporting verb. She said that I am tired. No, there is no pronoun change here. Right? Yeah. So you can just focus on the tense change and pronouns change and use correct reporting verb. Don't add quotation marks and practice identifying sentence type. Okay. Let's look at one more topic now. Question tags. A question tag is nothing but a short form of question added to the end of a sentence, usually to confirm or check information. For example, you're coming, aren't you? Yeah, you're coming, aren't you? She doesn't like coffee, does she? Remember that question form structure is something like this. Okay, generally it is used for confirming information and making polite suggestions. If the sentence is in a positive tone, the question tag becomes negative. Okay, if the sentence is in a negative tone, the question tag becomes negative. Okay, negative is nothing but when you have not present. Okay, you are coming, aren't you? She doesn't like coffee, does she? So what are you gonna use in your question tag? It consists of only two things. One is your helping verb, which is already present in the sentence, and the next one is the pronoun, which is already present in your sentence. So using these two, you're gonna form the question tag. She doesn't drink coffee. So what is the opposite of doesn't? Does. She. Okay. Let's look at some more. Okay. Yeah. As I told you. So he is tall. So what is the auxiliary verb present here? Is. So what should be the negative form of is? Isn't. Right? Isn't. What is the pronoun present here? He. So this becomes isn't he. And remember that always there should be a comma before introducing a question tag. If the comma is not present, then it's a punctuation error. She didn't come. So didn't is a negative. So we are gonna write did she. Right? Next, they have arrived. So here, what is the helping verb we have, and the pronoun is they. So it becomes haven't they. And always remember, it should be in short form. You cannot write have not they. Even though you might say that, ma'am, this is just a full form of what is present, it should always be in abbreviated version. Okay, it should always be an apostrophe and t. It cannot be in the full form. We won't be late, will we? Okay, what is the positive form of won't? Will. Right. Use the same auxiliary verb. Yeah, you will be using the same auxiliary verb which is present: can, can't, has, hasn't, was, and wasn't. And suppose, for example, not in every sentence you would be finding these auxiliary verbs, right? For example, he plays cricket. Okay, so what happens in he plays cricket? There is a hidden verb which is do. Okay, do or does. And if it's in past tense, it would be did. Okay, do or does, and if it's in past tense, it's did. He plays cricket is something like he does play cricket. Okay, it's a hidden verb. They went home. They did go home. The same sentence can be written, they did go home. So these are hidden verbs that you have to bring out and use them. He plays cricket, doesn't he? They went home, didn't they? Okay, remember that he plays cricket is equals to he does play cricket. And they went home becomes they did go home. Okay, these both of these sentences, they have the hidden verbs as does and did. Okay, and if the noun is in plural form, for example, if they play cricket, then it becomes they do play cricket. Okay, if it's a singular, it's does. If it's a plural like they, it becomes do. Okay. Yeah. So let's. There are some special rules. For example, I am becomes aren't I. It's not amn't I. Okay. Whenever I am your friend, aren't I? I am happy, aren't I? I am good, aren't I? Amn't I doesn't exist. Please don't use that. Next, whenever you encounter let's, the question tag should be in shall we. Let's go to the mall. Shall we? Let's play tennis. Shall we? Let's go to dinner. Shall we? Whenever let's comes into the picture, you should always go with shall we. Okay, next, imperative, any imperative sentence. Imperative sentence would be like requests, commands, orders, suggestions, right? So whenever you encounter any kind of imperative sentence, the tag should always be will you or won't you or can you. Okay, close the door, will you? Don't be late, will you? Please sit here, will you? Please have this coffee, will you? Okay, you can just use will you for every imperative sentence that you encounter. It can be an order, it can be a request. Okay, generally the rule is won't you and could you or can you will be used for positive imperatives, which are generally requests, and will you is only used for negative, sorry, for negatives, for negative imperatives only will you is used. For example, you can't say get out, can you, could you, would you, that doesn't make sense, right? Get out, will you, that makes sense, right? You can try framing them. All the negative imperatives like commands and orders, they should always take will you as the form. Other positive things, they can take both will you and could you and would you. Okay, let's see some MCQs now. She sings well. So here again you can see that there is no auxiliary verb mentioned here. So what is this? She sings well is actually equal to she does sing well. So what is the hidden verb that we have here? Does. So doesn't she, because this is in a positive note, the question tag should be in negative note, which is C. Doesn't she. She sings well, doesn't she. Yeah. You just have to observe the tense. If it is present tense, it goes with do or does. If it is past tense, it goes with did. You won't be late. So we can see that the sentence is negative. Right, this is a negative. So what should be the question tag? It should be in positive, right? So what is the positive tone of won't? Will. So you. Will you. You won't be late. Will you. They aren't here. What should be the... Okay, let's look at all the questions first. They aren't here. What is the helping verb? Are. What is the pronoun? They. Because the sentence is in positive, in negative tone, the question tag should be in a positive tone. He plays football. So again we have a hidden verb here, that is does. Doesn't he. Right? Because this is in a positive tone, the question tag should be in a negative tone. Let's go shopping. So whenever you encounter let's, it should be shall be. Again, you have seen that movie. Have. It's in a positive tone. So haven't you. Next, I am right. So whenever you encounter I am and it's in positive tone, it goes like aren't I. And again, if it is in a negative tone, for example, I am not right. If it is something like this, I am not right, then you can question am I. Okay, am I is fine. Am I is correct usage. I am not right, am I. But if you want to use that in negative sense, it should be aren't I, not amn't I. Okay, remember that. Aren't I and amn't I. Okay, so these are the sentences. Yeah, so match the tense and verb, use proper pronouns, avoid double negatives, and remember exceptions like aren't I and. Okay, yeah. So thank you so much guys for watching all these videos if you have seen them. This is basically the end of the series from verbal ability part. If you think I have missed some of the topics, or if you think you need more videos on one particular topic, you can always comment below this video. I hope you have learned something. Remember that whatever questions that we have dealt in these videos, they are like just the models. Okay, I wanted you guys to have an idea that okay, these kind of questions we can encounter them in the exam. Okay, it is something like that. If you think ma'am there are some models like this or that, you can definitely attach some links. If you want me to explain some of the questions, you can definitely comment below this video and let me know. Thank you for watching guys. All the best.